Hello everyone and welcome along to another video. So today I thought I'd lay out sort of what's going to be, lay out what's going to be the sort of main bit of this channel. So there's loads of things I want to do with this channel. I want to do novel reviews, codex reviews when they start coming out, rulebook reviews, I want to have battle reports, I want to maybe do the odd painting guide, although that's something I might leave so I'm a bit better in my estimation, and I want to base it all around a central thing, which is sort of like a tale of many gamers, something you may well have seen in Old White Dwarfs and some of the newer ones. They took a few years break where they didn't do it, but it started to come back quite big now, and I wanted to do one of those. I've just moved to a new area and I don't know a lot of people who play the game here, so at the moment what I'm planning to do is basically do sort of like a diary entry every month with lots of little videos throughout the month showing progress as I collect my armies, and then in the future after the first year hopefully start trying to involve other people and start having like a community go at it, so we can have multiple people with multiple armies. The two armies I decided to pick are Mechanicum, so Scutari and the Adeptus Mechanicus together, and Primaris Space Marines. Obviously they're the new bad boys that have just come out, and I couldn't not collect them really. They're so cool. I've wanted to do Mechanicum for a long time. They've got some incredible models, and they're an army that obviously a lot of people have wanted, myself included, for a long time, and they weren't really around, and then they were kind of like a Forge World exclusive thing, so when they came out in plastic I knew I really wanted to collect them. So they're the two armies I'm going to be doing this year. I'm also going to be doing reviews of my existing armies and how they're going to adapt to 8th, what new units I might buy, what tactics I'm going to have to change and things like that. And how it's going to work is I'm going to do a unit a month for each army, buy it, build it, paint it, base it, and build the army up slowly over the months. I've got 12 months exactly to get it all done. I'll try and play some battles as well as the armies get bigger, as well as with my existing armies of course, and that's basically the basic of the idea. So I'm really excited about it. I think I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to enjoy showing you guys the content. I hope you enjoy it obviously as well. So what I have done is I've painted up one model for each army as like a tester. So we're going to count this as day one. So from today I've got 30 days to paint and build and everything, the first units for my army. But I've done a tester so you guys can see what kind of colour scheme I'm going for and what the kind of idea behind the army is. So one of the extra challenges I'm going to set myself, because I love the background of the hobby, I'm going to set myself a challenge to write background for the army, name the characters, name the units. So that's something else I'm going to do in this first month. So I'm only going to do one unit each month for the most part, unless one of the units is really small. I might do a character as well or something like that, just to make it a bit more interesting. So this first month I'm doing a basic unit for each army, but the added bonuses, by the end of this month I'll have background, character names and all this stuff worked out for you guys, so I can go through all that at the end of the month as well. So that's kind of the added thing, because I'm doing quite basic units. I wanted to do an extra thing for this first month, and I've already got my eye on some models I want to do next month as well, but I'll keep that a secret until next month so that you don't know ahead of time what I'm doing. So if you watch the intro video for the channel, you may have seen this guy already. I have a Scutari already painted up. Let's get him lined up nicely there. Painted up in the colour scheme I want to do. It's a camouflage colour scheme with sort of gold and green spot colours, a bit of blue and red coming in as well. Power cores are mainly blue, red for obviously the Mechanicum symbols, things like that. And I went for a camouflage cloak just purely because the way I looked at the background, which I kind of explained, and I'll go into more detail at the end of the month when I've done the background, I kind of explained in the introductory video that my Mechanicum, I decided, were very numbers based, like most of the Mechanicum, and they worked out that to clothe their Skitarii in camouflage garb would cost X amount of Imperial credits per Skitarii, but their survivability increased by, let's say, 18% or whatever it might have been, and so they decided they wanted to do that because it was worth the money numerically. The armies were that much more efficient, which I just thought was a very Skitarii thing to do. So it looks like compassion, which it's not. They don't care about the Skitarii. They're not doing it because they like them. They're doing it purely for the numbers. So I'm really happy with the way it came out. It is a tester model, so hopefully it'll get a little bit more proficient each time I do it, but I'm very happy with the way he came out. So that's my Skitarii tester model. You'll notice as well a lot of these bases, they are city fight bases. It's because the one gaming mat I've got at the moment and terrain is all city fight terrain. So I do base my armies a lot like that, just because it makes sense that they're going to be playing on that board. So the next new model is this Primaris Marine. So I got the Dark Imperium box. Very excited by it. It's a fantastic box, best they've ever done by a mile. It's little things as well, like getting the hardback rulebook in there, getting the proper rulebook in there is brilliant. I've wanted to do Black Templars for a long time. They were one of my very first armies. I started in 2nd edition, but I didn't play that much, and I really started playing in 3rd edition. And in 3rd edition, Black Templars were in the starter set along with Dark Eldar and some trees for some reason. And so yeah, I did collect them then. I got rid of them a long time ago because they were horrendously painted, as I'm sure you can imagine. I was probably, I don't know, 10 or 11 at that point, so they were pretty terrible. But I've gone back to them, and I've always wanted to do them, and I saw the Primaris Marines as a perfect opportunity to do them. I'm really interested to see the way they react to Templar doctrine. Obviously the Templars being very religious, whereas the Primaris were created by Caul and Rebuta Guilliman, who have differing views to the Zealot kind of view of the Black Templars. So that'll be really interesting to see how they react. And actually my the next model I'm going to do after this Intercessor Squad, which is my first month's unit, will give you a clue as to how I think they'll react to it. So I'll leave that as a little bit of a mystery for next month. So that's my Black Templars. So they're the two armies I'm going to be doing over the next year. I'm really excited about both. So the first month, as you can see, is an Intercessor Squad for the Primaris Marines and a unit of Skitarii Vanguard for my Mechanicum. So I'll have them all painted, based, and ready to go by the end of the month. I will also, though, as I say, have background ready for both armies, so names for the general, names for the army, a bit of background for them and what they've done so far. And then as I introduce units, I'm going to give each unit a name and a bit of background as well, just to really beef up the background, because that's a favourite thing of mine. The only other thing I think I was going to do in this video, because I've kind of laid out the plans now, is actually just show you a couple models from my older armies, but I will be doing full army reviews for them, like I said, especially with dates coming along, just sort of showing what they've, how they've adapted, what new units I might buy for them, etc. on the side, beyond my Tale of Gamer videos. So the first one is Necrons. So this is my Overlord. I have background established for these guys already, although as I say, I'll go through that when I do the reviews. So these are the only ones that are on a desert base, just because I thought it was so Necron that although they look out of place on my city terrain, it just sort of made sense to put them in the desert. I do plan a desert board next, get another mat and some more terrain and start working that up. So that's him there. They're probably my best, what's the word, most proficient army. They're the ones I probably won my most games with. Obviously Necrons are pretty strong, so that doesn't say too much about my generalship. That's just, they're a pretty good army, but they've changed quite a bit in 8th, so they're going to be quite interesting. Some things seem to have got really strong, especially reanimation protocols, and monoliths have got a lot better, but some things are obviously taking a bit of a hit as well, so that'll be quite interesting to play. I've then got my Grey Knights. I really wanted to take advantage of the speed that Grey Knights can offer, because it was really cool, but also it was just a bit of a different idea for Grey Knights. So I've got the obligatory 2 Dread Knights, but I've also got 2 Interceptor squads and a squad of normal Strike Marines who are either Deep Strike or put in a Storm Raven, and then I've got a Librarian leading it, and then I've got a Vindicare Assassin as well, because I just think they're awesome. Not that effective in the game, but they're very cool. And that's 2,000 points roughly. Most of my armies are 2,000 points as an aside. And it's just really cool to see them move around the board so much, and it's really going to come into its own, I think, in 8th, where you can teleport now, but because it's not deep striking, I don't scatter, and I can charge, which is really awesome. So I can get really close to you, shoot you, and then charge you. I know it's 9 inches, but you never know. I'm really looking forward to that. I'm really happy with the way the power blades came out as well on these guys. That's probably my favourite bit about them. And then last but not least, we have my Iron Warriors. So obviously it's the Huron Blackheart model, but I use them as my general for the Iron Warriors for the most part. If it's a smaller battle, sometimes I will use a Sorcerer or Walksmith as one of his lieutenants. As you can probably see, he's had a little bit of an axe break, so it's at a bit of an odd angle, but there we go. Really enjoy painting the chevrons. Really enjoy painting the chevrons on all the Iron Warriors. Obviously you'll see them all in the future. Really cool challenge, but it looks really effective, I think. So his name's Huron Ironheart, just sort of nicking that name but turning it to be a bit of an Iron Warrior. So that's him there. So they're mostly tank based, so actually I'm really looking forward to see how they play as well, because they've got a lot of tanks in my army, lots of monstrous creatures, so that's going to be really interesting, because obviously they're a lot tougher than they used to be. So I've got 2 Vindicators who you can't one-shot anymore, you also can't destroy their main gun, so that's going to keep firing until you've destroyed it, which is going to be great. I've got a Morphine you can't mobilise anymore, things like that I think will really bring them into their own. We'll have to see. It is a bit of a guess. I haven't played a game of 8th yet, so we'll see how the Iron Warriors get on, but I'm really positive about the idea. I think they might benefit from 8th more than any of my other armies, and more than most armies, to be honest. So yeah, that's pretty much the end of the video. So that's my plan for the next year. Like I say, lots of reviews, lots of battle reports, lots of painting, lots of updates, going in between codex reviews, going in between the Tale of a Gamer videos and the army reviews for my existing armies, and then the Tale of a Gamer just once or twice a month, just doing an update video for you guys to see and just sort of follow along with, really. So that's the end of the video. Please like and subscribe, keep me going. Leave any comments on what you think of the existing armies that I've got, what you think of the plans, what you'd like to see me collect next, what are you collecting at the moment. Put in the comment section what you're collecting. I'd be really interested to know. Show me some photos, give me some background, some cool stuff about what you're doing, and let me know what you're up to. But in the meanwhile, I'll talk to you guys soon.